Welcome back to the podcast, guys, and I'll be talking about game week 17 that's just gone and focusing on game week 18. And Christmas Day threw in some curveballs as I awaited game week 18. I felt a mixture of joy and nervousness as I spent much of the day on the Fantasy Football Scout forum in between the festivities. The forum was full of the type of crazy, scaremongering trolls who would spend Christmas Day on an internet forum, myself included. I opted to stick by my own instincts because of this. A reliable source, Cranberry, actually told me David Silva was going to hit mega points. The mulled wine gave me the feeling KDB was going to be swimming in City's attacking points against Sunderland, and a litre of cider told me Sergio Aguero was going to score big time points. Then I sobered up and realised my team was actually onto a winner as it was. A late Christmas present to myself, really. And then I realised I should turn off my laptop and get a life. Boxing Day was very fulfilling for me. I got to watch my team Stoke beat Man United, who I used to glory hunt when I was little, but enough about that. Stoke won, and it's a great time to be a Stoke fan with Europe in our sights and hopefully Wembley in the new year through the League Cup. So Stoke won 2-0 against United, and there's a lot of good things to say about my team at the moment. I'm very proud of what Mark Hughes has done, and I will be looking to get more Stoke players in my team than just Jack Butland after yesterday's performance. And I think we played well. It wasn't just United playing badly, of course. It was, our defence kept them out, and our attack looked dangerous, although the 2 goals turned out to be enough in the end. So Ryan Shawcross, I think should be in the England team. So too should Jack Butland, who's turned into England's #1 goalkeeper this season. And it was a very good occasion to obviously be a Stoke fan. Boxing Day was a fulfilling day in terms of my FPL team as well, because my team moved up over 200,000 places. So I can also rant and rave about how my team fared in game week 18, not just in terms of Stoke, but in terms of Kyle Madrid as well. 64 points is 20 points above the average, so I'm very pleased about that. A good way to start reviewing any game week this season seems to be looking at Jack Butland's performance. So I'm going to start with Jack Butland once again. I think it's time I did some sort of ode to Jack Butland. I think he earns special recognition for his performances this season for me. He always livens up my mood whenever I view my team. I feel that whatever happens with my other players' performances, I know I can rely on Jack for points. Points are something he isn't short of. His 9 points in game week 18 made him Dream Team star man. He's the best keeper in the league now in terms of fantasy and reality football. He never seems to fall short in any aspect of his game. I was there right from the beginning. At the start of the season, I put him in my team. 18 starts, 73 saves, 8 clean sheets, and 95 points later, I feel I was right to put him in my team. It wasn't always this good though. It took us 8 games to get our first clean sheet of the season, but I kept the faith, and Butland is repaying me in points. So Butland's 9 points earned him Dream Team Starman status, not for the first time this season, of course. And his save to keep out Fellaini was probably save of the season. He also made 4 other fantastic saves during the game, 5 other saves during the game, to earn himself a bonus. So I can't dwell too much on game week 18 because game week 19 comes along tomorrow. But you know, quickly looking through my team, I've also got Kevin De Bruyne, 16 points for him. For a goal and 2 assists, if I remember rightly. Harry Kane also got himself in the goals with 2 against Norwich. Unfortunately, I captained Silva. You know, out of the 3 big hitters in my team, I captained the one who scored the least amount of points, which I think is typical. But I'll move on to game week 19 with my head held high. This testing time of fixture congestion would be too much to fit in with my daily life, thinking back to past seasons. But this time round, I am either more dedicated to FPL or I have less of a life. But I don't have time to debate it. All I will say is my team got a massive 64 points, and yet I was slightly disappointed with my captain choice. I wish I'd have gone along with the mulled wine and captained Kevin De Bruyne. Plenty of green arrows in my team. I'm also through to the next round of the Cup. So a lot of positives to take from game week 18. It's just a shame that it only lasts for about a day and then we move on to game week 19. I've also got very healthy bank balance at the moment, and this is down to my free transfer, which I used to offload Begovic. He'd begun to fall in price in between game week 17 and 18, and if I said I wasn't alarmed by this, then I'd be lying. Even if I did have 1.4 million in the bank, I now have 2.2 million in the bank. And this is because I actually downgraded Begovic to a cheaper but much more value goalkeeper. So Wayne Hennessy is only 4.1 million and will quickly rise in price because Crystal Palace are going about their business very well this season. Without playing fantastically well, they find themselves in 5th place. So theirs is the team to look out for at the moment. I wanted Scott Dan, and maybe I should have got Scott Dan in my team 2 or 3 game weeks ago. Instead, I went for Johnny Evans, and I've regretted my decision. But now I've got Wayne Hennessy. I've got that Crystal Palace coverage. And they do keep a few clean sheets, not as many as my team Stoke, but they are capable of keeping clean sheets. They've just come on the back of keeping a clean sheet away at Bournemouth, so they're in a bit of form at the moment, having beaten Southampton and Stoke away and drawn to Everton away as well. So they're doing well of late, and I expect Palace to keep this form up with Hennessy in goal, who looks a solid keeper by the looks of him this season. So for 4.1, I think he's definitely a bargain and someone you should get in your team. Selecting my team for game week 19 was a difficult thing to do, with 4 players in my team playing in the same game in the unforeseen top of the table clash between Leicester and Manchester City, and Lukaku and Barkley coming up against Jacko. So I have a few selection headaches going into the halfway point of the season. So I need to think happy thoughts about Jacko saving a point blank shot from Marwan Fellaini. Having such an almighty, all-powerful, all-stopping goalkeeper in my fantasy team, who is also, a very important player in my real life team, poses a bigger problem in terms of team selection headaches. Am I too emotionally attached to Jacko to drop him for Hennessy, even though Hennessy is, playing 16th place Swansea, who haven't won an away game all season, and Jacko is playing Everton, who have only failed to score once since September. So, you know, it is a difficult decision to make, even though Jack Butland is, such a quality shot stopper and he can get so many save points. I really have to think long and hard about a goalkeeping um, option for game week 19. So this is more than a selection headache for me. It's a day long selection migraine, and I really want it to stop. So it is really difficult, and I'm sorry, Jacko. It's time you had a rest, mate.